What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on also, that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support. We're going up, and it's all because of you. Thank you guys very much. That's it. All point bulletin, right? It's a wrap. It's definitely confirmed. Yesterday, there was some content put out by several content creators concerning Danny Masterson's welfare, right? Nope, not the 1st and the 15th, but every day of the month. It seems like someone's been speaking on Danny Masterson. I myself have put out plenty of content explaining the situation, everything from the rooter to the tutor, from A to Z, where he's been, where he's going, what's going to happen, to the best of my capabilities and knowledge. But yesterday, there was content that was dropped that explained the situation that happened. Well, I'm here to tell you it is definitely confirmed. I made a couple calls. I made a call earlier, didn't hear what I wanted to hear or what I thought was correct. Made a couple more phone calls, and I can tell you exactly what went down, how it went down, why it went down, and if it's going to go down again. So if you want to listen, buckle your seatbelt, because here it goes, man. So Danny Masterson was already going to be moved to CMC. Guys caught wind that he was going to be moved, and he was not showing face, meaning he was not going to chow. He was not coming out for showers. He wasn't going out for rec or yard. For those of you that don't know what yard is, there's a lot of people, it's weird, that are asking me, what is yard? That means you're going out there to program, to play basketball, handball, or whatever people do on the yard, workout. It is a big yard in a prison. It is considered the prison yard, where everyone congregates and kind of familiarizes themselves with their fellow inmates or convicts, right? Wasn't going to that. He wasn't trying to make no line movements. So they pulled him out. 2 officers to do medical. This happened, of course, on A Yard in Corcoran Prison a few days ago. He was pulled out, and I'm going to be trying to get the paperwork so that way I can show you the incident report of who was involved and how it went down, man. Be patient. It's coming, right? So this individual, Danny Masterson, had to be pulled out for medical purposes, for a medical reasoning. Now, the word on the curb was, and like I say, the information in the news travels fast within the prison system. People were of an understanding that he was going to be moved. So the video I did earlier, questioning him being moved to CMC East, that I said just doesn't happen. I was absolutely correct in saying that, because it doesn't. I said they either had to think about moving him prior to this, or there was some fucking secret squirrel shit going on behind the scenes, right? Again, he was moved because they already thought, due to his safety and security concerns, whether it be YouTube content that is created and is putting it out there, whatever it may be, they caught wind that this guy was going to be assaulted, or that there was definitely an imminent threat of danger to him. So they decided that they wanted to send him to a different yard, a reset, to start over, right? Not necessarily for the safety and security of the institution, because shit happens every day, but more so because this guy, being who he is, I'm sure they didn't want a lawsuit and have to clean up the mess after. So anyways, they decided to go take him for a medical transport to the medical facility, right? Or basically what is called the infirmary. And when they went to get him, he didn't refuse this. This was his first time stepping out. And when he stepped out, 3 individuals, not 2, but 3 individuals, I'm being told, right, decided that that was their only chance to get at him before he was going to be shipped out the next day. And again, like I say, how did you guys find this out in prison so fast? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. There's a thing called R&R. There's a thing called the program office. And there's always inmates or convicts that work in the program office, that work around, and they hear about these transfers, who's being transpacked, who's being transported here and there. And also in R&R, there's certain situations where you have to send your property. They get the property ready. They do these transport intake, outtake paperwork, right? So somewhere along the line, somebody, not saying who or not sure, somebody caught wind that this guy was being transferred out of there. So the groups whoever had decided that they wanted to fucking run up on this dude knew they weren't going to have their chance unless they did it when there was officers involved. Now, let me tell you something about a 4-yard or a 3-yard in the state of California. Who cares, right? They don't care if there's officers there. They don't care if the superintendent or the warden is right in front of them. If somebody wants to get to you, they're going to bull rush right through whoever they have to get through just to get to you. So this is exactly what happened. During transport, he was being escorted out of the building. These 3 guys, who people are saying are from the group BBC. Now, I haven't confirmed if these guys are actually allegedly from the group BBC, or documented, validated gang members from BBC, which means Brothers by Choice, of course. And I did an extensive history on my other channel, Gunners Collective TV, about a year ago, explaining just who that group is. And I did a roundabout little explanation this morning on who they are and what they're capable of. So obviously they're capable of a lot on this particular yard in Corcoran. So as he's being escorted by these two officers, one on each of his shoulders, these guys decided to make their next move, their best move. And immediately one came from the front, two came from the sides, and they took flight on Danny Masterson. Now, what I'm being told is he wasn't injured. They didn't use pieces. It wasn't anything like that. It was more so they were just trying to grab him by his fucking hair and rip it off, right? Whatever the case may be, they considered it an assault, and it was quickly extinguished and handled. And that's what usually happens. Usually if it's weaponry involved, and what I mean by weaponry, prison shanks, or any other weapon that a prisoner can get his hand on that are used, the officers are going to be kind of stuck and they'll take a step back before they go into action. And of course, it being in the building before the gunner could assemble his rifle and get ready, usually things are happening so fast, it's over. Now, from what I'm being told, this happened right before he got to the celly port door. Okay, so let me give you guys the DNA and makeup of the actual building he was in. It's 2 tiers. You walk in through a sally port. A sally port is basically like a hallway. Up above the sally port is where the control office is. The control office controls with computers every single cell. So every single cell can be opened manually or it can be opened electronically. Usually most of these new prisons, Corcoran not being one of them, are usually just electronically opened and closed, right? This particular prison right here, everything is ran from the control tower, the control center. And on this day, his door was popped. 2 officers at the door. They escorted him down the stairs. He was on the top tier, right? And as he got to the day room just before the sally port door is when they decided to take flight. Now, it happens all the time. I've seen it. I've been involved in it. Got flight took on me, took flight on other people. Usually things will happen. If that's their only chance to get at you, but best believe that if they're really willing and able to get at you, they're going to do it. Like I said, no matter what. Now, the reason why people like to do assaults in either the sally port or right around the sally port, it's harder for the gunner to aim straight down. Usually the gunner needs a little bit of room to survey the situation, right? So like I said, if there was weaponry involved, meaning shanks or knives, the cops would have kind of stepped back, reassessed the situation, and then involved themselves quite heavily. In this case, man, it was just a few roughnecks trying to manhandle this guy because they felt some type of way. Now, let's get to the bottom of what happened. Of course, they stopped this fight immediately. These 3 guys were escorted straight to administrative segregation, and they have a lockup order for an assault, a prison assault. Daniel Masterson, Daniel Peter fucking Bader Masterson, was then escorted back to his cell where he was locked up in his cell for what I'm being told was about an hour and a half. They did come back after locking everybody down and escorted him from medical. Then medical overnight. He stood in the medical area. Now, in the medical area, they have several cells where they would keep people that are J-catting out or have a sickness or whatever till they could be transported to a medical facility or whatever they needed, the EOP building. He was kept there overnight and he was transferred. Now, I was told that this transfer did take place over the weekend. Again, I told you guys in a prior and earlier video, I've never in my life seen anyone transported on the weekends unless it was a predetermined move. In this case, it was. The reason being is they wanted to keep him excluded and separated, segregated from everybody else. So basically, he is getting special privileges, I guess you could say. I don't think it has anything to do with his money or who he is. I think it more so has to do with the safety and security and the concerns of the prison period. So anyways, he was transferred from there, left these guys, Brothers by Choice, allegedly behind in ADSEG, to which they're still sitting down right now, pending fucking, whatever they're going to have to go through. How much time are they going to get for a simple assault? Probably not much. I don't see them catching a shoe term. I don't see anything of the nature of the sorts. I could see them fucking them around a little bit just because they did this while the officers were escorting this inmate. They could kind of take it personal, especially in a place like Corcoran. But again, ain't nothing brand new about this. These types of assaultive behaviors and things happen in prison all the time. This is just something that happens. Now, of course, I've said it in one of my first videos, Daniel Masterson was always going to be considered a trophy. And what do I mean by trophy? That means it doesn't matter where he goes. Yes, he could program a little bit on certain yards. Yes, there's going to be individuals that might not like him and don't care what he's in for, which is, of course, a hard R, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of guys that don't want to fuck up or jeopardize what they got going on for him. Most of the lifers that are there are in programs, right? Especially if you have a lifer at CMC East, which is the softest yard in the millennium, right? Or in the galaxy where the millenniums live, the millennials, excuse me. He's definitely, these lifers are going to look at him some type of way and be like, bro, we're trying to fight for a date. A lot of us still have hope. We're hoping the law changes. We're doing programs. And if they're there, they're programming so that they can get out. They could give a fuck less about some fucking washed up B actor from that 70s show, right? So a lot of them guys, he doesn't have to worry about or be too concerned with guys doing life, because most of them, you know, are trying to involve themselves in cognitive thinking skills, social thinking skills, anger management, and programs, getting their GEDs, or of course getting their fucking degrees in college that they're taking courses, mail-in courses, or whatever the case may be. A lot of them are trying to educate themselves so they can for re-entry into society. You know, a lot of these guys have been locked down 20, 25, 30 years, and they ain't got time to worry about some chiruhu fucking with funny ass hair that just got there that everyone's talking about. Now, I wanted to touch on another thing. So that is exactly 100%, 1,000,000% exactly what went down with Danny Masterson. Whether it was the brothers by choice, I'm not 100% for sure, but that is the word on the curb. He was moved due to safety and security concerns because he was no longer going to be able to function at Corcoran. But again, they were already going to move him prior to this incident taking place. This was just the cherry on top, right? And I seen it coming, man. I thought perhaps, you know, he might be able to wiggle to the yard and grab him a sack lunch one time at Chow. But I think with all the content creators putting out fucking videos and everybody talking about him, he wasn't able to make it to that, you know, and he chose not to. I think he was advised or he was aware that he was going to be moved. Usually they don't let you know this. Okay, usually you're not told you're going to be transported. There's been plenty of times where they just came to my cell, roll it up. Where am I going? To the hole? No, you're going to this prison. Why? Who gives a fuck why? You're going. Okay. And if it's a prison I didn't want to be at, as soon as I got there, then I had to get off where I was mad at. What do I mean by that? If they sent me to a prison at that time when I was functioning as an active gang member that was considered trash or no good for my participation practices, then I definitely got into participating for a medal there. I picked up whatever weaponry I could or just these and handled my business. Now, it's common, but it doesn't happen all the time. Usually they're going to send you right where you need to be. But there are times when they fuck up your paperwork or they just don't care. Because one thing about prison is this, especially in the state of California, they don't always care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your money. They don't care about your family. They don't care about nothing you're going through. All they care about is them and theirs, right? And whatever facilitates the move to make it necessary for them to get home and for them to be comfortable is all they care about, period. So as far as Danny Masterson getting all these extra privileges and he's going to get a cup of ice cream at night and they're going to rub his feet, maybe his big black, yes sir, Sally might do something, might rub his toenails and then suck his ass up, right? You just never know what's going to happen, right? Talking about BBC, the big black, come on now, right? No. Let me tell you something. When it comes to Danny Masterson, he's going to get what everyone else gets, and that's goulash for dinner, a whole lot of fucking hard dick, no bubble gum, and a good night if he's lucky, right? He got nothing extra coming. They have already moved him to the safest facility possible for him, which I thought and I still think would be the PHU, the Protective Housing Unit. But again, man, whatever they choose to do and however it works out, I can guarantee you this: ultimately, 100,000,000%, he will eventually end up in the PHU. I see it now. He has 30 years to do. That's a lot of hard dick and bubblegum to chew on, right? And I can tell you from the meantime, in between time, here's knowledge you can get in college. I guarantee, and you heard it here first, he will end up in the Protective Housing Unit because everywhere he goes, he's going to get touched on. They're going to see, hey, they're going to put the stank on him. They're going to do that because that's what people do. He's considered a trophy now. And now, if this group, Brothers by Choice, did get off and they got 3 comrades, 3 brothers, 3 real ones sitting in the hole because of this guy, who's to blame? Not them for getting off, but him. Now, whether he chooses to speak in his own behalf and say what these guys did to him, of course, the cops are going to write the reports and it's all right there. But if he chooses to voice his opinion and say something, then, you know, that even makes it worse for him because now he's even more of a target because he done told on his aggressors. I know there's people out there like, wait, that's the way it's supposed to work. Not in prison. It's not, buddy. It's different. So anyways, as far as his transfer, like I said, it was pre-negotiated, predetermined. He was already going. And that was a safety concern. And then this just happened. But it is confirmed, and it really did, right? So excuse me, and my respects and my I'm sorries to people like JD Delay, even Jumpsuit Pablo that put it out. They were dead on correct, man. They got some good intel, so a little bit better than mine, brothers, right? Oh, you white dudes is doing it, brother. Coffee, right? I'll trade you some coffee for some intel. But at the end of the day, we're all just content creators, man. We're on that same beat, and we're doing what we do. We're trying to bring you guys the best knowledge you can't get in college. We're trying to bring you guys the ins and outs of the penitentiary and what exactly is going on for Danny Masterson. Again, he is sitting kosher and comfortable. I've heard a lot of people say, well, he's sitting in a medical cell, celled up by himself right now in a medical bed. I don't know that to be true. I do know and have heard facts that he is in a single cell, and I would think he's going to be like that for a while because the safety concerns follow you, right? And until something actually really happens to him that really hurts his heart and his ass cheeks, right, we're not going to know. We're not going to know if he really is safe. Again, the way I look at it from the outside looking in, I say that he's just another prisoner with a fucking rape on his jacket that's going to get what he has coming to him. And there's no one that's going to be able to defend or stop that. Whether he's innocent, guilty, whatever you may think, it doesn't matter. Once you get to prison with bad paperwork, there's those that will correct that shit and don't give a shit and don't care. I think he's going to have to thug it out like Ruggish Bone until his appeal. And I truly and honestly believe on that second look at his appeal, something mysteriously going to go and the judge is going to have an epiphany. And the next thing you know, this Valto's going to be out there, not with his wife because she left him. We're going to be doing a video about that tomorrow. It's going to trip you guys out. But anyways, so, yeah, I just wanted to send my respects to those who put it out there. And my I'm sorry because they actually hit it dead on the head, right? And again, you can't be right on everything. I'm definitely not wrong on everything. But one thing I am is for sure. And I'm for sure that this guy is going to continue to go through a struggle. And that just is what it is. Like I said, man, I still am tripping that they actually moved him on the weekend. But I guess maybe he is different. I've never had money, been a Scientologist, been rich, never raped women. So I've never been part of that circle, what he's got going on, to say that I really understand some of these things that are happening to him. I guess times have changed and things have changed. I know back in my days in the penitentiary in prison, especially on a 4 or 3 yard, like I said, there was nothing but hard dick and bubble gum, and I'll take the gum. That's about it, right? With that guy, I don't know what he's into. But I definitely know, man, I don't think they care. He's going to get his portion. Long dick style. And that's just what it is. So anyways, I wanted to put that out there, man. Again, to say that is exactly what happened. That is the ins and outs of it. That's where the assault took place. It took place right there in the day room up under the Sally Port. And again, like I say, the Sally Port, a lot of things happen because that is kind of a blind spot. I've seen so many fucking things happen in the Sally Port. I've told a story before. I seen one time we were actually walking to Chow. I'm not going to tell you what prison, but we're walking to Chow and everyone gets released, bottom tier, then top tier, and they had released bottom tier. And there was a new guy that had got there, and I could kind of tell people were kind of keeping him at a fucking Heisman Trophy stance, right? They were kind of keeping him at a distance. I knew something was going on with him. I thought, in the Y term, he was dicked up or something. I could just tell he was in some type of bad standings. I guess he had been someone that had told on someone from the streets. His crime partner was actually on that yard, so the word got facilitated fast, got generated throughout the institution, and this guy was on the no-fly zone. So when we went through that Sally Part, I just remember hearing a sound, keep looking forward, turned back, and he was on the ground with his head down there in his lap. That's how motherfuckers get down. It's different on the 4 yards. Very different. Anyway, so with that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. I will keep the updates as they come posted to me. I appreciate everyone that's out there putting the content out because real ones are trying to work real hard to bring you guys the best possible content we can. I myself do the same thing. So I can't knock anyone's hustle. I'm not jocking anyone, not knock anyone, just doing me in my own lane, man. I respect all the support I'm getting on my channel because I'm doing the mostest that I can for you guys. Thank you guys so much. With that being said, move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, the only way to get that is go through the strive and struggle and the struggle to strive, man. Only you can do it for yourself and your family. No one else guaranteed will do it for you, right? With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears this crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, providing the best possible content I can. Oh, and there's a rumor. For those of you that don't know, this is my smaller channel, my second channel. I actually have a bigger channel called Gunners Collective TV, right? And I haven't been dropping a lot of content, and there's rumors flying. I guess the haters will continue to hate, right? Who are they? I don't know them, right? But there's a lot of people that are saying Gunner got demonetized because he bought all kinds of subs. Well, guess what, man? In May, when I come back, we'll see if them subs are still there. Bang, bang.